Hey there gamers, Dreamcastguy here, and this is my brutally honest review for Gears of War Reloaded on the PlayStation 5 Pro. Because yes, it's extremely weird to think about, but even as a person that's been playing now Gears of War for 20 years, a series that's so synonymous with Xbox quality, it's now on the PlayStation 5. But I want to talk about this version of it, the goods and the bads, because honestly, the thing I think the most people are going to have trouble acclimating to is honestly how dang fast it is. But let me break it down. Hi, hope you're having a great day, and if you could please give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Now to start with, what is Gears of War Reloaded specifically? So this is technically a remaster of a remake. You see, 10 years ago, there was this special edition called Gears of War Ultimate, where they went back and completely reconstructed, rebuilt the original Gears of War. And that version was already very, very good. They took that and further optimized it, further upgraded it. This entire game runs at 4K 60 FPS, and in multiplayer, it is 120 frames per second. It is insane to see in action, but let's face it, part of the fun of this is also the fact that when you play it, this also includes every map, every piece of DLC, every skin, every gun, everything just instantly unlocked the second you boot it up. And I gotta say that, honestly, the multiplayer of it, that's perhaps where I have the most fear about it. Let's start by talking about that multiplayer actually, because this is the thing I enjoyed the most about the original Gears of War. This is what got a lot of people addicted to Gears of War, but it's also the part that I think I'm the most concerned that people just can't handle it. You see, Gears of War is a game that has almost a very separate language. And it's not just because the weapons are so specific, from the torque bow hitting people with explosive arrows or the hammer of dawn calling down a very slow laser from space. Each of the weapons in this, they're not just difficult to use, they're difficult to learn. Now, once you learn them, they're incredibly fun, but I'm almost kind of afraid about the fact that a lot of PlayStation people, this game has a very big learning curve, specifically because of the pace of it. Now, this is 100% true. Every Gears of War game, I've beaten all of them on the hardest difficulty. I found every collectible. The first HD TV I ever bought actually is because of Gears of War. This is the fastest it's ever been. The original Gears of War is the fastest one they ever did. Each game, they've tuned the speed a little bit different, making some of them much, much slower, some of them making them in between. This is incredibly fast. Everybody runs quick, reloads quick, shoots quick. So this isn't just reaction time. A lot of this game feels like it's about instinct, about figuring out how perfectly to respond to somebody jumping in your face with a shotgun ready to go, right? But I gotta say that this multiplayer still feels incredibly good. You can play it cross-play on or off, but my singular concern about this is, even as a person that very much loves the multiplayer, that is having a blast butchering everybody, especially people that definitely don't know the buttons yet, I think that my singular concern is that this is one of those fan bases that is incredibly hardcore, like the most primo dedicated fan base of all Xbox games has been Gears of War, because this is a game that has basically an infinite skill ceiling. You can take literally the rest of your life learning how to perfectly pixel shoot and wall bounce and do every single weird trick. Playing this online, you are going to run into people that kill the entire lobby and you basically never even get a shot off. Now, personally, I'm obviously much better than the average person. I can kill most people I run into, but I am a bit concerned about the fact that all the people that are trying to learn, it's gonna be a rough time. I almost wish there was some sort of way to like register accounts, like either skill-based matchmaking or some sort of noob bracket, like some sort of way where people with fresh accounts for their first 100 games, they can all fight against each other or something like that. Because honestly, I do think that most players coming into this, you are gonna get brutally butchered for 50 games in a row before you even learn what your buttons are. And to some people, they're going to kind of flunk out. Okay, so I've talked about that. One thing that's cool about this, I have to admit, is that there are a lot of original DLC maps that honestly, I feel like did not get enough play back in the day. There are actually 19 total maps in this, and all of them are drastically different, from blown out hotels or crazy stuff like train stations where the train goes past and butchers people. It's cool to see all 19 maps in this. I'm honestly very, very happy with the multiplayer. Personally, it is 10 out of 10 perfect, but it does kind of make me wish we had the other Gears of War games. Let me get into that in a second. Let's talk about the campaign. So the campaign, I've always been a big defender of the story of the Gears of War games because, yeah, they're clunky. Yeah, everybody's built like freaking gorillas and stuff like that. But I've always kind of appreciated the fact that, honestly, the silliness, I think, is on purpose. You see, I've read all the Gears of War books, the Gears of War comics, and I think that even when they are trying to be dark and serious, there is an interesting style of dark humor to it that is fantastic. And honestly, seeing it now in 4K, it still ages and looks incredibly good. You see, in these games, we're playing as Marcus Phoenix. He's a guy who has been in prison now for a very long time for some accidental war crimes, which we all do occasionally, but then he gets busted out by his best friend, Dom. Essentially, things have gone bad. The human race has been going to war against this species called the Locusts. There's this planet called Sarah, and 14 years ago, these creatures started to burst up out of the ground. They call it E-Day. On one day, they started literally just popping up, sinking cities, killing everybody. Very little of the population even exists. The only people that managed to live are the people that really did just pick up arms and start fighting back. The beginning of the big E-Day wars. Now, Marcus, they need him. They've pardoned everybody. You're allowed to leave jail. As long as you're willing to fight, screw it. We're not going to have guards in the prisons. Everybody just needs to fight. Everybody is about to die. And I got to say that, of course, the later games did better at the writing, at the camaraderie of these different companions. But even this first game, I really like how the dialogue goes. All the different people we run into, from Kim to Cole to Carmine to, of course, the great relationship between Dom and Marcus. I like seeing how they interact, how they defy authority, how they really trash talk and fight and scream while they're chainsawing locusts and stuff like that. But even more than that, it just looks gnarly, right? I mean, one of the reasons I originally played Gears of War, just being brutally honest here, the reason I originally bought it as a kid is that it wasn't that it had this riveting tale to rival Final Fantasy. It's because I wanted to blow up locusts in HD, right? To splatter paint all over the place. And so this looks even better. It's also crazy to me that something I think that just kind of gets undersold. I love the PlayStation 5 controller. The little speaker, like PlayStation 4 had this as well. There's a lot of times where people talk to you on the comms. This exists in all the Gears of War games, and typically it plays to the TV, right? But now the action is on the TV, but your phone calls come through the headset. They come through this little like speaker, and it sounds great. I actually think it makes a lot of those moments where you're supposed to like look around and somebody's calling you saying, "Hey, the helicopter's trying to land." Those moments are actually much more effective now that it sounds like that. This also created haptic triggers. So when your guns are trying to jam, when stuff's getting crazy, when you mess up an action reload, there's this physical resistance to your actions. I think that honestly, this is the best version of the game, but I've seen a lot of complaints saying that they wish this was the entire trilogy. This wasn't just the one game. I've seen people say we need a Marcus Phoenix collection, and I'll be honest, I do agree. The multiplayer is so perfect. If they just package together even the multiplayer or some mix of the 1, 2, and 3 multiplayer like what Master Chief Collection has, I think that'd be great. But honestly, I really just want even the stories of 1, 2, and 3. Selling us one game for $40. Personally, I 100% think this is worth the money. 100%. But it does leave me sort of just scratching my head and say, why not release all of them? All of them look good. All of them look fantastic. Why do we not have all the Gears of Wars? I got a feeling they're probably going to, next year, they're going to sell a Marcus Phoenix collection with the original trilogy. And to me, that just seems kind of lame. It's very business savvy, I guess, but it's very, very lame. These have just been some off-the-cuff thoughts after playing the game for, well, as many hours as I could possibly fit in. But how do you feel about the Marcus Phoenix collection? Oh, sorry. How do you feel about Gears of War 1 Reloaded? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like, subscribe if you haven't already, and please keep dreaming. I also made a video today about Helldivers 2. Helldivers 2 just went to Xbox with an ODST Halo crossover. The console wars are over. It's so bizarre to just see the console wars are done. It's trippy. Thanks so much for watching that video. If you want to see something else, you can always click this link to see what I put up last, or, subscribe and see what's coming up next. Also, I promise that whatever I do, it'll try not to suck.